At 12 years old, our next guest found out he was a diabetic. During the following years, Adam Klemanski's kidney function continued to decline.
Fast forward to February 2017, he was put on dialysis with hope that one day soon he would be able to get a transplant. Well, we are happy to report that transplant happened, and Adam joins us today to share his story. Thanks for being here.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so 12 years old. How did you know something was wrong?
With follow-ups with the doctor, they were monitoring me because diabetes is in my family. They were afraid that it was going to be a hereditary thing, and it obviously happened, and they were monitoring me, and they figured out that I was pre-diabetic, probably around 11, actually.
Okay.
And then at 12, I had to start taking medication.
So this kind of started a roller coaster?
Yeah, through the years, it just took a toll on my body, having the diabetes with issues with my eyes, and then obviously later on with my kidneys.
And you ended up on dialysis in
2017. The tail end, actually, of 2017.
So what were you thinking about now with all that starting?
It was overwhelming, as I think it is with a lot of people that experience end-stage renal failure. And I didn't really know much about it, to be honest with you. It was kind of one of those things where you don't really think about it until it happens.
Yeah.
So.
And then you eventually had to be put on a transplant list. That has to be kind of scary.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, when you go on dialysis, it's a choice that you make, that you want to get a transplant, or if you want to continue to stay on dialysis.
Okay.
And once reality hit me and I figured everything out, I decided that was the path I wanted to go, because I felt like I had a long life to live, if possible.
Do it with a transplant. So that happened in 2019?
The transplant was in 2019.
19. So how'd that go? Was it, I'm taking it wasn't just a smooth, hey, let's go get this done and go back home.
My situation was actually unique because I had to lose 150 pounds to get under the BMI rate to get the surgery.
To do the surgery.
And I actually found out about a pancreas and a kidney transplant, that I was eligible for it. And I went that route instead, where the BMI, you have to be lower, obviously, to get the pancreas.
Right.
So I chose to go that route because with the new pancreas and the kidney, the pancreas protects the kidney and it reverses the diabetes. I'm no longer diabetic. I don't have high blood pressure.
That's great.
Yeah.
So that was probably a pretty complicated surgery. How did it go?
Actually, it wasn't. It was awesome, to be honest with you. I was only in the hospital for 6 days.
Really?
I was out of work for about 2 months. But I had the transplant done at University of Georgetown, MedStar Transplant Institute. Phenomenal staff. They took great care of me and continue to do well with my follow-ups.
So at what point did you start feeling better and things really changed?
It's funny, right away, I remember my wife saying that she was posting on Facebook to everybody that my sugars were dropping down right away after the surgery. And I actually saw later on the reports where my blood pressure went from being moderately high to normal.
Where it ought to be.
Yeah.
Wow. So how has life changed for you since then?
Significantly. I'm able to live a normal life. There's a couple things, obviously you have to watch for, but other than that, so far so good. I feel blessed.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You came to the point, you said that when you were on dialysis, you get to make the choice of whether or not you're going to go to organ transplant, right?
Well, it's something you can explore. There's a lot of criteria that you have to meet with having different testing done and et cetera.
So if there's somebody who's at that point now that you were at then, what would you say to them?
I would say to definitely go for it, and it's worth it. There's a lot of testing that has to be done, and it's not something that you just automatically receive. You have to put a lot of work into it, but it definitely beats 3 times a week on a machine and the feeling of effects of dialysis.
That's wonderful. Adam Klemanski, thank you for sharing your story. Now we're going to take a little break, and up next, learn about an event that supports people in situations like these. Delmarva Life is coming right back. Stay with us. We're learning about the importance of organ donation today and hearing how it saved the life of one of our guests.
We are back this afternoon with kidney transplant recipient Adam Klemanski, and with him on the couch, the Associate Director of the National Kidney Foundation in Maryland and Delaware. This is Nicole Scharf joining us as well. Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
this
for
afternoon.
having us.
Wonderful to have you. So we heard Adam's story, but you have a story of your own. You're a living transplant donor.
I am. It's interesting how Adam and I met. I met Adam when he was on dialysis in Georgetown, and I work for the foundation, so I visit dialysis centers and frequently get to talk to patients. And really interesting, we learned that we grew up around the same area and that our parents worked together.
Really?
Wow.
And we're the same age.
How about that?
So we became friends instantly and sort of walked through this journey a little bit together. I became a kidney donor. My intended recipient also was on dialysis in Georgetown, but I wasn't a good enough match for her. So we entered the paired exchange program. So I donated my kidney to a stranger as part of a 10-person swap, and she got her kidney. It was flown in from California. So she was able to get a kidney, although it wasn't mine, through that paired exchange. And that happened in 2019 also.
Okay. All right. So let's talk numbers. Kidney disease is the 10th leading cause of death nationwide. I didn't know that.
It is, and it's oftentimes referred to as a silent killer because sometimes, most times, there aren't any symptoms. You might be feeling a lot of fatigue, but that could be anything. You know, who isn't fatigued from time to time, and it might be, you know, any other health issue going on. So it often goes undetected. It can be detected with a simple blood test, and if those numbers are not in the range they should be, or if you're over the age of 60 or have a family history of diabetes or high blood pressure, you're at risk for kidney disease. So currently right now there's 37 million people across the country that have kidney disease, and about 90% of them don't know it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so over 60, family history, any other risk factors we can?
Diabetes and high blood pressure are our two biggest
big
risk
ones.
factors. Yeah.
Okay. And like you said, many people don't realize they have kidney disease
Until it's too late, and then they're faced with dialysis. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously not a regular test that's done at your yearly checkup.
Yeah, and you just have to make sure that your primary care physician is running that test, or we do screenings throughout the year. We have one coming up in June in conjunction with Title Health, where we're going to be at their health fair and doing kidney screenings that is completely free to the public.
So you've got a kidney walk.
We do. May
Coming up.
1st, Sunday, May 1st is our Southern Delaware Kidney Walk. It's the 14th year. We're going to be at Cape Henlopen State Park. 10 a.m. is registration. We walk at 11. We're thrilled to be back in person. We've been virtual for 2 years with the pandemic, so really happy to see all of our teams and patients and healthcare providers and sponsors out there that day for a good cause and raise some money.
You know, Adam, I imagine you've seen these walks before, years gone by, but they have a new special meaning to you now, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, seeing all these people come together.
Yes, it's nice, and it's well worth it.
New friends.
Yes, of course.
Any good stories that you care to share? I mean, the fact that you guys grew up in close to each other and your parents worked together, that's fantastic.
And didn't know each
Yeah.
other.
And didn't
as well.
know each other.
It was
Very
crazy.
Any other
strange.
good stories come to mind about the new friends you made?
Not so much as far as like it's definitely something that you don't realize until, like I said before, you know, once you become part of that routine,
Yeah,
you tend to meet people that you probably wouldn't meet, and you know, otherwise.
that's wonderful. Nicole, Adam, thank you so much for sharing your stories on Delmarva Life.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having us.
having us.